makes this. It's a really interesting concept. It keeps you going to the end. You've done before you know it, but it is a little bit like getting hit by a train. You're kind of like, what the hell was that? You'll need a kettlebell for one of the drills and some light hand weights dumbbells for one of the drills. That's it. It's a lot of body weight today. It's called equilibrium because you're all about reaching balance. It's a split time, 2 exercises split over a minute. I'll explain all shortly. Let's get warmed up and then I'll go through all the details with you. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. today. It is what it is. It's just 6 minutes, 6 drills. Each drill is split into 2 exercises. You work into a minute with 20 seconds rest. The 2 exercises, on the first round, we do 5 rounds of each, then 6. The first round is a 50-10 split. So you switch to that second exercise with just 10 seconds to go. So it's no more than a few reps. We go through them all, we go back to the start. The second time through, we split 40-20. So we decrease exercise 1 and increase exercise 2 by 10 seconds respectively. All the way through. Then we go around for a third time, and it's a 50-50 split, 30-30. We go around for a 4th time, and then it's just 20 seconds on number 1, 40 seconds on number 2, and then one final time, one last round, just 10 seconds, no more than 1 or 2 reps on the first one, and then 50 seconds on the second. Hence, equilibrium. Okay, and that's it in its entirety. Minute work, 20 seconds rest, and 20 seconds go quick. You get a little bit of extra rest at the end of the round. You have to grab a quick drink of water. That's about it. All the way through to the end. So you need to know your combinations. So number 1 is your kettlebell combo. And you'll notice there's a lot of lower and upper going on. And certainly the first half, the first exercise is much more lower body, and we transition over to much more upper body, the second half. Anyway, combination 1, minute 1, swings through the thighs, no frills, regular swings. Okay, thigh level, eye level, hinge your swing, don't squat your swing. When I say switch, grab it up here. You can switch kettlebell if you need to, but ideally you want a nice fluid switch, otherwise you'll lose time. You wouldn't want that, would we? So from one shoulder up to the top, switch, tap, tap. See, I'm holding it like that, so if I can just feel the handle there. It doesn't really matter how you hold it, but that's what I prefer. Okay, that's it for kettlebell. Combination 2 is a body weight, and it's a handle to press up. It's exercise 1. Open the hips, hands down, walk out, push. Back up, down. Okay, when I say switch, you switch to a squat thrust. Which so simple but horrible, particularly when you get into the 40-50 second sort of zone. And remember, that's a squat thrust, knees in and out, not this. Okay, that's just bring your feet back and forth. A squat thrust should be knee squat. Yeah, a squat. I'm in a squat position. Thrust out. Okay, that's a squat thrust. Okay, right. Combination 3. Is a ISO real lunge from an ISO squat. This can be difficult if your hip ability isn't great. But you're just trying to get at least some bend in these. So ideally, I'm getting down into that sort of 90 degree. Then I'm going to drop the one leg, knee down, back, then the other knee. So I'm keeping. I'm never actually standing up. That's continuous. So there. Down, back. Okay? Then I'm switching to bunny hop press up. So you're immediately down. So do press up, but I'm going to step my feet to one side there. My hand position doesn't change. Do a press up. Okay, you can do that on your knees. Remember, elbows down. Okay, then come up, throw your feet over, press up that side, throw the feet. So you're an angled press up, angled press up. Again, much harder than it looks. Okay, next combo. Burpees. All the way. You're just doing a slightly different version. So, exercise 1 is burpee with a double jump. That jump is up down to the individual, really. Just there. Up, then 1, 2. I like to get my knees up, make it a bit more hard, but even if you do a little sort of pogo jump, that's fine. Land soft. Concentrate on making no noise as you land. Then the second exercise is burpee with a double press. Okay, so when I say switch, just keep doing your burpees fluidly, but instead of a double jump, we're doing a double press, okay? Hey Daniel, hope you're well. So down, that's you up. It's your second one. Nearly there, last two combinations. Dumbbells. Okay. Squat. So 6 jabs. So you want your dumbbells nice and high, elbows up a bit, cheekbones, I guess, will be the ideal position. Down, and then you hold in that squat again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back up. Down, head and chest high. 3, 4, 5, 6. Back up. Then you're going to switch to hinge and prone fly. Again, good hinge. Knees out. Sit back. Your belly's coming to your quads. And then squeeze your shoulder blades. Final combination. Combination 6. Core sit-ups and hollow body hold. Okay. So exercise 1. Sit-ups strict if you can. Okay. Not strict if you can't. It's okay either way. And then into hollow body hold. Remember, 3 points. Lift and squeeze the abs. Squeeze the glutes. Finally lift the legs. If you keep the tension there and there, okay, and then lift, you should be able to hold. As soon as that tension releases, your lower back will kick in. Okay? So if you need to make it easy, your lower back, those hip flexor tendons really start giving you some grief. Just bend your knees. Just do it like that instead. But you must lift your head and shoulder, tense your abs. You're like a dish. Okay, try and do it like that. You'll just go like that. So you've got to get that position, obviously. Right then. I think we are ready to go. So, once we're in. There's no going back. We're just going to go all the way through.
Swings first, though.
Yeah. Swings and shoulder to shoulder is your first combination. Right. You just set the time. So you listen out of that, you'll hear like a tick, tick, tick. That's the starting to switch. I'll remind you anyway. I have been known towards the end you get tired to forget it sometimes, so listen out for it if you can. Okay. Here we go then. Round 1, 50, 10. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. concept. 40-20. Everybody ready? Here we go. 3, 2. Thigh level, eye level.
Suddenly, your touch of my body
it up. Ready for the last one. Brilliant, well everyone. Here we are, another last one. If you're still with us at home doing this on your own, seriously well done. But look, you can't give up now. We've got to reach equilibrium now. Just 10 on number 1, 50 seconds on number 2. And we do it. Right, come on. For the last time. Final two. Come on. This is it now. We're almost there. Switch. 50 seconds. Well done, you completed all that. Without any extra rest, sticking it hard on your own. That deserves serious credit. Right, we're back in just 1 minute. With total mobility day 1. Hopefully we'll be back. All we have to descend tomorrow. 1 hour is long, but don't be put off. It can be scaled to suit. Equally, it can be the hardest one out there. So either way, join us tomorrow. See you soon. Thanks for tuning in and subscribing. Thank you.